Now, more of Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute, the only show directly addressing the problems and solutions for Illinois. Now, from AM 560, here's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Pat Hughes, co-founder of the Illinois Opportunity Project, on this edition of Rising. And Pat, continuing our talk on the budget and these legislators, I mean, this is really sort of a master class in understanding just what mediocre intellects and one-dimensional human beings populate the Illinois General Assembly, just how rank the composition of these caucuses truly is. We mentioned in passing the likes of Mike Yunus from Peoria invoking Mother Teresa. I mean, listen to this guy. Here's Mike Yunus.
Now, I know that by voting for this, there's going to be threats, there's going to be bullying tactics. They're already happening because the fact of the matter is both sides have extreme fringe groups that don't always tell the truth, believe it or not. And both sides are doing that. And there's no trust in this place. This environment, all we have is a very toxic environment with political gotchas. It's got to end. It has to stop.
It did with Mike Yunus crossing over to vote for tax hikes. It'll stop. Now you've got bipartisan support for tax hikes. So again, there's the change he wishes to see in the world, and that's inspiring.
That guy is so embarrassing, and so are so many of the other people. And on the Republican side, too, you played David Harris. I mean, David Harris, that speech was embarrassing. And some of the speeches that they made on the floor, Dan, were like if my 15-year-old was in a civics class was making a speech, and I would be upset if she did it. It's like children. It's like preteens talking about they watch something on Sons of Liberty, or now they're going to make speeches on the House floor. It's embarrassing. They're not adults. The need to talk and get applause and the reflection of all that is so embarrassing, so pathetic, and garbage in, garbage out. You got to get those people out of there and get, there are real people down there. Alan Skillicorn, who we had before, yes. Jeannie Ives and others, Mark Batnick. We need to get more of those types of people in the place of Yunus and Harris, and then maybe we can get something done.
Yeah, there were many Republicans, those names, Keith Wheeler, who
Correct.
Made proper adult evidence, fact-based arguments against this, all the ones that we make on this show and others. So I suppose not all is lost, but it doesn't look particularly rosy. And by the way, I mean, Yunus invoking Mother Teresa, you had legislators invoking JFK, invoking Martin Luther King. I mean, it's some very rarefied air that they breathe down there to justify tax increases. And in addition to that, in addition to putting themselves into some pretty august company, I'd say, then you had the people that are just stone-ass idiots. And they are
That's
happy.
a long list, by the way. We need more time for those people.
They're happy to shout it from the rooftops. Chris Welch, who's a Democrat from Proviso Township. Congratulations, Proviso Township. Nice job.
How's Proviso Township doing, Dan?
It's not great.
Yeah.
Neither is Proviso's high school district, where Chris Welch was the former school board president, and he helped destroy that school district as well. Now he's scaled his destruction to the state level. He responded to the governor's veto message by correcting him. The governor in his veto message said that the General Assembly had voted to increase the state income tax by 32%. Chris Welch responded on Twitter, the Illinois income tax goes from 3.75% to 4.95%. That's a 1.2% increase, not 32%, as Ronner says. So if for those of you who are listening who never got past fifth grade and so you didn't get into percentages, 1.2 percentage points of 3.75% is a 32% increase. Chris Welch, the guy deciding how, in part with his colleagues, how billions of dollars are going to be spent, and how a $36 billion state budget is going to be balanced, doesn't know the difference between percentage and percentage points.
And it's worse than that, Dan, because not only doesn't he not know it, which is just bad enough, he's willing to go on, in media and let everybody know just how stupid he is. And so he's stupid, and then he's crass at the same time, and it's a devastating combination, which is why the area that he represents is in such bad shape.
And when he's not beating up women, he's beating up math, as it turns out. And that's just me going by police reports. All I know is what's in police reports.
Correct.
That's all I can comment on, is what's in police reports about him beating up a woman.
Right. You're just reading.
That's all I know.
You're just reading the report.
That's all I know.
It's factual.
You have to take it up with the village of Hillside.
Correct.
Because it's the police that came to his home when he beat up a woman.
Well, you don't know what she did, Dan. Who knows what she did? You know how it is.
So,
she had to be put in line.
So
Chris Welch.
That's Chris Welch. So again,
he's a real man. Only real men do that.
Congratulations to Proviso Township for your representation. And then Stephanie Kifowit, who's a Democrat from the Aurora area, she gave an impassioned plea on the House floor too. One of these kind of sob stories about people going bankrupt because they can't afford adult diapers. We spend more on Medicaid than any other budget item in this state, and she's manufacturing stories about adult diapers.
It's so infuriating, Dan, that the Democrats use that portion. Look, this is what the governor should say. This is what our leadership should say. This is what every Republican should say. We're going to fund social services right off the bat. All the people who are in need, we're going to fund you. It's not that portion of the budget that's the problem. It's the pension costs. It's the contracts with AFSCME. It's all the insider deals. We're going to cut all that, and we're going to leave social services alone. We're going to protect those people. We do a terrible job messaging, which is why they're able to hit us over the head with that all the time.
And by the way, just for you slow learners out there, like a third of the House Republican caucus, when Democrats had the run of the place for the 15 years, starting with Blagojevich and ending with Quinn, Illinois was the worst in the nation in funding services for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So if you want to continue falling for the scam to pretend that they're so compassionate because they have the quote-unquote courage to tax, and you're going to buy that they're going to funnel all this money into taking care of the truly vulnerable, they haven't, they didn't, they haven't, they won't. It's a big scam, and you're the big sucker.